Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the Editor-in-Chief, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the third edition of the Indian Education Congress. At Franchise India, we have been empowering consumer businesses in various ways across our various verticals to help them to grow. And particularly through this Indian Education Congress, we are aiming to empower the education sector to really rethink its consumption and proffer better quality of education products and services by empowering better life and boosting social change. You know, I think today we are really living in one of the most interesting times that this world has ever might have seen. And it's not really a metaphor. I think in a single generation, everything has changed. The way we live, the way we work, the way we communicate, it's all undergone a tremendous amount of change. You know, I keep on hearing this all the time that probably, and it's quite a dichotomy really, that I keep on hearing that the degree of engineering is probably becoming obsolete. In fact, we're going to be releasing shortly the education investment report here with you. One of the figures that we came up with the industry analysis was that 22% of the engineers that were being produced were not fit for jobs, which I think is so strange, particularly when in a world like this, almost everything needs to be reinvented. So I think that is something we might want to reflect on during the course of these 2 days here at the conference. You know, not that I claim to be any sort of expert on education, but being a business editor for the last 10 years and having worked very closely with the education sector for almost close to 15 years now, and in the last 3 particularly, I have done some great bonding with this industry. I feel that the change that we need in this industry is really about the 3 C's which I'm going to share with you. The first thing I feel is about consumption. Now, consumption is critical for any industry if change has to be brought. Thankfully, being the, housing one of the youngest populations in the world today here in India, I feel that that could not be one of the biggest concerns. You know, today, I think gone are the days when you needed to actually incentivize an Indian to actually come up and take education. So the demand for education is something that is more required on our part to meet rather than actually getting more children to or getting more people to enroll in education system. Incidentally, we are today living in the consumer age, and sooner or later, sooner in fact rather than later, every industry it becomes a buyer's market, and so is happening with education also. Today, I think, what does an Indian look from an education system? They look for, it is really linked to for him to have a better life, to have better prospects of earning, and to, in fact, see a life of what probably he's grown up to, a far better life from what he's actually grown up to. And I think that is really where the challenge of not just the Indian education, but education across the world is really becoming a big problem. Now, the problem here is probably, I feel, at 2 ends. The one is that, there is a very progressive Indian who want high quality schools to send their children to, which they are not able to probably find. And secondly, the higher education is not giving as much returns as it really should be giving to the people who are graduating. At Franchise India Media, we also run a retail magazine. I can almost see that there is a synergy between the retail sector and the education sector here. 10 years back, I'll briefly take you through what retail sector has been through, and I think we could probably appreciate some things in other industries and can actually incorporate in the education sector. 10 years back, there were no malls, or in fact, 12 years back, there were hardly any malls, and brands were really all out in terms of finding where they should actually put up their stores. 10 years down, the story is that we're over-malled in this country. There are not enough brands. I work with mall companies, we talk to mall people who tell me that we need to get more international brands in this country very fast, which was why there was a big debate on the FDI in retail that you must have read about. So the investments in the retail sector pretty much went berserk in the last 10 years in terms of the investments that they made on retail, in terms of putting up new infrastructure, but the consumer, unfortunately, traversed even faster than the malls could have come, to the point where they found that the Indian retail experience is not the best in the world, and they still prefer to do their shopping from countries like Singapore or UK or America when they travel. Same is perhaps I would not call it a problem, but a transition that the education is going through. In fact, it is academia and the consumption really need today to be linked very closely to each other if the consumption need of the modern age has to be met. And consumption by itself is really not about the existing consumption or the existing heads that you need to fulfill. We also need to see where the newer markets are going to come from. Probably, the education sector today needs to go or look international. There are countries like the Middle East, countries like Africa, where hordes of Indians live who actually send their children to study in countries like USA or UK. And I think if we were to present ourselves right, we will find that these children could very well come and study in India rather than going in those markets. It's about how soon or how fast we can actually make ourselves important in international markets. That's going to be the next challenge for the consumption from where I see it. The second thing I interestingly found, another C which I was coming down to, was collaboration. So I think from a consumer standpoint, what I'm trying to say is that the gap may not really be in the demand. The gap may be in or what I would say is a demand gap. So it is about fulfilling, as I said, the ambitions of what these people are looking for. Here, from a collaboration standpoint, I think there is probably a bigger need to have academia, government, and the industry to link up together. In fact, most of the education would probably need to be more industry-linked, or eventually come down to a situation where the industry is able to drive short-term courses or maybe long-term courses within the universities or higher education institutes, so that the people who are getting graduated are able to find the right jobs that they are looking at. Whether it is vocational education aligning its skill training or the demand of schools and higher education institutes linking to the real demand, idea is to have a value creation which is going to be more fulfilling. Again, taking back to some of the examples of other industries, look at the telecom industry. There are about no more than 6 or 7 big players over there, and yet as a consumer, you have never been more satisfied with your mobile services than ever before. Look at the cinema or the entertainment industry. I think about 10 years back, you would shy to go from your neighborhood cinema. Today, a handful of 5 or 6 companies that exist in or provide entertainment are perhaps able to bring the hardcore, non-conformist cinema guy to get and take the experience of a cinema. So I think probably what might happen in the education industry in the coming years is that there may be these few players on the top who would own 50 or 60 institutes, and that is the collaboration that would probably come to happen as it has happened in the other industries. And the third C, coming down to the third C, which I feel is most important, is commitment. Now, collaborations and partnerships are good, and the services that they deliver or the activities that they do are all fine but what they really require at the end of the day is far more engagement and commitment of all the stakeholders. And that is the commitment that everybody has to promise to give if we need to leverage the education at the next level. So the foundation of education will, of course, never change. It will continue to be the betterment of the society. While I was interestingly interacting with various stakeholders of the education industry while putting up this show together, there were very new names in education sector that I came to hear. I came to hear about examples of Reliance School in Mumbai. I came to hear about Shiv Nadar University, Asim Premji University, and what fantastic work they are doing. Now, these are the schools which are being run by corporates, and they're doing some fantastic job over there. The idea is that, great organizations or great educational institutes which are being run by corporates, they have a self-governing mechanism. They have a mechanism with which, and that is the DNA of those organizations, where they are self-disciplined, self-governed, and competitive enough, which helps them to really grow. So I think that is a case in point for private institutes, as I was saying, that we may need to look at. Now, coming down to the role of the government, which I think is the most critical in terms of getting this commitment together, is they need to be the strongest regulator in terms of putting together all these private partnerships or letting all the private partnerships to come together and create an ecosystem of sustainability. So, in fact, I would like to say that they probably need to be a moderator and a facilitator, stringent, but at the same time inviting to the industry. At the risk of sounding perhaps too critical over here in this forum, I would still like to say that there are a lot of government policies which really don't reach out to the people who are there in education. They're so closed door. I think an open-minded approach is really what is required between the academia, industry, and the government to be able to achieve a situation of education growth to happen in this country. I think this forum is really, just to give you an idea, this forum is really not about corporate CSR initiatives or private sector education. This is really about that common man who thinks that education is his business and wants to discover what is the next big opportunity for him. So I welcome all of you who've taken out time for the next 2 days to be part of this show. And I think there's going to be some great learnings that are going to come on stage. But I think the fact that all of you are here today, be liberal enough to interact with each other. I'm sure most of you have the right ideas, and they just need to be put in place between all the great minds that are here today to take it forward. Before I leave, I have a thought that I'd like to share with you. Why I said I was in education I've been working in the education since the last 15 years. Before I joined Franchise India, I was a professor in economics at Punjab University. I think it is important for us to evaluate this in the course of this forum, that why are we not making teaching one of the most sought after career opportunities in India? Why is it, or how do you possibly think that the society could be harmed if the best minds in this country would be imparting education? But it just needs to be brought out as a career opportunity of great importance. So ladies and gentlemen, let's reflect on it over the course of the next 2 days. Before I leave, I welcome you once again.